Do you stretch regularly but feel like you're not really making progress? In this video, I'll show you how to avoid them and how you can achieve much more against pain and for better mobility through improved stretching. Why do we even stretch? Most people stretch simply to maintain their flexibility. They notice that when they do it, something happens. We've discovered that stretching can be applied in a much more specific way to effectively prevent and manage pain and help reduce existing pain, even working toward lasting pain relief over time. We have discovered that the majority of pain experienced today ultimately stems from muscles continually shortening, fascia tightening up, and tension steadily rising over time because they're not flexible enough. And all these factors clearly demonstrate that you can very effectively use stretching to directly target and alleviate pain symptoms. Why are muscles so tense and fascia shortened? This occurs because in our daily lives, we no longer move fully and sufficiently in all possible directions. And as a consequence, the structures become shorter and more tense. And precisely against that, one can take action with targeted stretching in the right manner. Mistake number one when stretching. Maybe you're already stretching. You get into the position and notice, oh, that feels good. And you hold it for about 10 seconds, 20, maybe 30 seconds. I've noticed that people rarely stretch for longer periods. But what's often overlooked are the fasciae, which play a crucial role in helping you become more flexible over time. Fascia absolutely needs stretching. It needs at least 30 seconds just to start becoming more pliable, to begin to lengthen and give way. And that's when it really starts. That's why we stretch for around 2 minutes, give or take, so that all of these benefits can be fully activated. And the time invested optimally ensures that something truly begins to shift within the body. Today, time is tight. And that's why, if you aim to use your time effectively for stretching, you should dedicate at least 2 minutes to it. Yoga, for instance, incorporates longer stretching, which isn't a mistake at all. That's also great, a bit more happens there, but compared to the time, much less actually occurs. And the perfect timing is really around 1.5 to 2.5 minutes, right within that general range. That's why we've carefully designed the stretching routine, incorporating a variety of techniques to ensure you consistently reach that 2-minute mark, which is crucial for delivering effective and reliable results. Mistake number two. Maybe you have the impression that bouncing while stretching helps you progress, and wonder if that might harm you. I can explain why. Especially with inexperienced people who haven't done it in a long time or have done it too little, the following happens. When rocking, the structure, the muscles become so excessively overworked that they actually tend to tense up a bit. This is related to the fact that there are spindles built into the muscles, the so-called muscle spindles. When they detect that the muscle is being stretched too quickly, they actively resist in order to keep the body protected. And to turn off this reflex of tensing up, it's best, especially as a beginner, as someone who doesn't stretch, very often, so to speak, to gradually ease into the stretch. And then you reach the point where you feel that's enough for now, and then you calmly and steadily ease further in because that reflex won't kick in anymore, allowing you to progress more comfortably. When you've become much more experienced with stretching later on, when the structure is already flexible and pliable enough that you can't injure yourself, then you could also begin incorporating bouncing movements into your routine. The fascia would benefit from that as well because it is structured a little differently, but that's actually for specialists who have been doing it for a very, very long time. Initially, I wouldn't do it because it could potentially have the exact opposite effect instead. If you want to do more than just stretching, I recommend our exercises because they include strengthening as well. That means we move into a specific stretched position and then strengthen the muscle while it's fully extended and at its maximum length. And something happens there that's really great for how your muscles function, whether in everyday life or in sports, because it allows you to do things much, much better that you couldn't do before. Because you're also working in extended angles, the angles where there's usually no strength. You strengthen, and then at the end, another strength training element comes into play. That's when the muscle, the antagonist to the stretched muscle, is also strengthened through what's called active stretching. And with these strengthening exercises, you've got a full program in your 2 minutes, benefiting from practical applicability in everyday life that you'll genuinely benefit from in the long run. Mistake number three, you're stretching, it starts building tension, and then it begins to hurt. And there's the rule that's frequently emphasized. When it starts to hurt, you should immediately stop stretching so you don't push yourself further then. And this is where we completely disagree based on 40 years of experience. We know that this slight pain should actually be the starting point when it comes to stretching. And then you should gradually go a bit further, not pushing too hard, but always reaching a little more until you notice you're approaching the very edge of your comfortable pain threshold zone there, okay? What is comfortable pain? Comfortable pain is a pain that hurts, but doesn't hold you so captive that you have to fight against it, that you have to clench your fists, that you might have to fully engage your head. I'm forcing myself to stay in there now. None of this should be a comforting pain. It starts as a mild comforting pain, gets stronger, gets stronger, gets stronger, and then you think, oh, do I want to keep going now? How do I feel? Then observe your breathing. Can you still breathe deeply in, deeply out, or is your breath somewhat stuck? That's always a sign that it's too much, and that boundary, you won't find it in the first 3 days, but after 3 weeks, you'll have a much, much better grasp of it. Also, don't take any risks. Only push yourself as far as you think. It's already quite painful, but I still feel pretty good overall. And then the next day you push it a bit further and you'll truly be able to decide quite quickly through your own sense of feeling when the exact right intensity level is actually reached. And why is it so important not to stop too early when the pain starts? That's why it's so critically important, in my view. It's purely an estimate, emotionally gauged. If you stop when the pain begins, you're likely only reaching about 10% of the full potential and effectiveness of the exercise. Compared to pushing yourself further up to the upper limit of your comfortable pain threshold. Mistake number 4, you're stretching while holding your breath and tensing up, something that you definitely should not be doing. Just as in the strength training I mentioned earlier, always remember to breathe deeply in and out while you're stretching. Ideally, focus on breathing deeply through the nose. This regulates everything smoothly and effectively helps to activate your vagus nerve. Parasympathetic relaxation. So through breathing, if you breathe calmly and relaxed, you can further enhance your relaxation. Physically, biomechanically relax by stretching it out, while also consciously engaging the mental dimension into the process. Observe your breathing as you go into your stretch, no matter which one it is. And you notice, okay, now it's getting a bit painful, and then a little more painful. Continue to breathe deeply in and out. With each exhale, gently and steadily, ease yourself deeper into the stretch, moving slowly and with mindful, deliberate, and controlled awareness. And when you inhale, you pause and hold still. You breathe in deeply, then there's a brief moment of stillness in the movement. And as you exhale, you gently ease further into the stretch, going deeper again. And if you want to add a little trick where the vagus nerve gets even more activated and you relax even deeper through your central nervous system, then make your exhale a bit longer and slower than you inhale. For instance, if you breathe in for 2 counts and exhale for 3 counts, you'll activate the vagus nerve even more, significantly boosting relaxation and calmness compared to skipping this technique. And what I'd really love to know, write in the comments, what was new for you and what did you already know? And please share the video with someone who also stretches regularly so they can discover how to fully maximize their stretching routine. They'll absolutely appreciate it.